Okay, so if your personal year adds up to a 1, this is a starting point in a 9-year cycle, and it's a time of new beginnings. It will require a strong push towards putting dreams and ideas into reality, and the high energy and courage to see them through, and making changes that are long overdue, which could include emotional upheaval while these changes are being made. It's also a cleansing year of all the problems. If you have connections with the male in your life, it's all about putting new things in motion this year. So it's all about fresh starts. And what you find if you don't do this is the next 9 years will lack momentum. If you're a female and you're in starting a 1 year, you'll have to really tap into the male energy of your personality and become more confident and self-assertive, pursuing your own personal goals, which, like I just said, might encourage problems within a relationship. And also the 1 year is a very strong year, and it's often seen as a crossroads year because it's you're being forced to make major decisions. If your personal year adds up to a 2, this is very much a nurturing year, and it's often you'll find in a 2 year that there's very intense emotions, and the person will be more sensitive and vulnerable, or at least feel that way. So it's a year that requires a person to use their power in a gentle way, and it encourages you to focus on compromise and persuasion as opposed to using force and aggression. So patience is a real key word for a 2 year. It's often a year of slow growth, and I would advise you to choose your associates and friends very carefully, as like I've said, the person will be more vulnerable and sensitive than normal. It's a good year to start researching and improving the understanding of yourself. So in female charts, there could be conflicts with the mother and other females in the person's life. In the male chart, there might be feelings of insecurity as they awaken to their female intuition and emotions. So often you might encourage exposure to situations of unfair criticism. Resist the temptation for revenge as well, and concentrate on harmonizing relationships through compromise and empathy. If your personal year adds up to a 3, this is very much the number of creativity and social contact. So you'll feel optimistic and be more able to use your charm and wit to entertain friends. This year might bring forth some new contacts with people of the opposite sex. Perhaps a love relationship may blossom. There'll be many invitations to social gatherings and possibility to enter a creative career, travel opportunities, and a strong need to communicate your own ideas. It is best to observe the following. Complete projects started, so there's no scattering of the person's energy, and avoid extravagance and overindulgence in any form, and be disciplined and focused. If your personal year adds up to a 4, this is the number of hard work and laying down foundations for the future. The central focus is on perseverance and concentration. There may be more need to be flexible if obstacles present themselves. It often feels as if the year is slow moving, causing much frustration. This is a year that requires the person to be very practical in their approach. There may be recognition of a job well done. There may be much work-related travel. If the person recognises that they are in an unsatisfactory job, then this may be the year that spurs and encourages them to change this. This is a good year to renovate a house or to sell real estate. If the person has applied themselves during this year, they will be rewarded with a great deal of satisfaction. If your personal year adds up to a 5, this is the year of many surprises and many changes. There may be a change of residence and travel. There will be a broadening of an individual's mind due to heightened curiosity, as it's a very restless number, and there may be a tendency to be impulsive and become impatient. There is also a warning to the individual to apply their wisdom in making decisions, as these decisions could backfire if made without thought. This is the year to take calculated risks, and there's a strong thrust to let go of the past, especially with regard to old belief systems. New friends and possibly a new relationship are also aspected. There is a warning that sexual temptations resulting in moral dilemmas may occur. These may result in the relationship breakup. There may also be a drive to overindulge in alcohol, drugs and food. There may be much social activity and many parties. There is a warning not to become an adrenaline junkie. In a nutshell, this is a year where major change takes place. If your personal year adds up to a 6, this year forces the focus back into the family. There will be a great deal of pressure on the person for service and unconditional love. There will be little time for the individual to satisfy any of their personal needs. This results in a very emotional year. In the relationship, it could mean marriage or divorce. The couple have to look at the resentments and dysfunctionalities in their relationship. If they can repair them, the marriage becomes stronger. If not, they may end in divorce. If a relationship has developed in the 5 year, it often moves on to marriage in the 6 year, as the 6 is a highly domestic number. So it's got a strong domestic vibration. This is also a year to look up and clear old childhood conflicts. It often causes much emotional upset. If these inner processes are ignored, then loneliness and depression may be felt. The individual may be called upon to do counselling and harmonising within their family and peer group. If your personal year adds up to a 7, this is a year where there'll be a strong need to be alone and to meditate and to go within to find answers. The person withdraws inwardly and does some soul searching and introspection. This is where there is a need to seek out the mysteries of life and spirituality. The individual will not enjoy noisy social gatherings. This is the year to release all the emotional blockages. They should avoid skepticism and discouragement and build inner strength. There should be no emphasis on the material world, as this will be painful. This is a year where the person reflects on the occurrences of the 6 year and learns the lesson of letting go and handing over to the divine. If your personal year adds up to an 8, this is the year where the person re-emerges into the commercial world and focuses on their business and financial interests. There may be recognition in the workplace or a long-awaited promotion. In a year where money can be made, but just as quickly lost if it's allowed to become an obsession. This is a year where a person harvests all the efforts and hard work of the previous 7 years, provided there was hard work and focus. It is a year of balance, where the individual is asked to balance heaven and the material earth. There may be a rebellion against figures of authority. There may be a drive towards a position of leadership. There will be much ambition to achieve their goals. The individual should allow their vision and intuition to guide them. They may feel a certain detachment emotionally, as this is a strong focus on work and achievement. And finally, if your personal year adds up to a 9, this 9 cycle brings to a close the personal year cycles. This is a shedding cycle, so this is not a time to enter into anything binding. For an example, a marriage or a business agreement. This isn't written in stone, so obviously you would have to use your discretion and intuition. This is a time to do mental, spiritual and physical housekeeping. Start the year with spring cleaning the house and getting rid of all unwanted and unnecessary goods. Renovate, redecorate and repaint to cleanse the house. Find ways to give service to the community and to anyone in need. This is a time to work on releasing negative emotional baggage. This often causes emotional ups and downs, and there may be a breakup of a floundering marriage or friendship. Engage in musical and artistic practices, as this is a very creative year. It can also be a very difficult year if the person resists the urge to purge. If they do not clear out on all levels, this baggage will tarnish and burden the following 9-year cycle. Okay, that concludes my numerology forecast for 2018. Please leave any polite comments and feedback in the box, and thank you very much for listening and watching my video.